Yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all.
Talk about it, be about it.
Yeah,
Talk about it, be about it. Talk about it, be about it.
yeah,
Talk about it, be about it. You can't talk about it unless you be about it. You want to talk about it, you need to be about it. If you like to talk about it, you need to be about it. You want to talk about it, then let's be about it. Welcome to Talk About It, Be About It with Pulling the Cord. Some call her Sister Soldier, some call her the Warden. Strong black sister with intelligent views. Who call it like she see it, this ain't the nigga news. We step in bigger shoes into 10 like Obama. This ain't about your sweet 16 or baby mama drama. There's issues on the table, y'all. More important than your D's on a label, y'all. Racism, pedophiles, black pride. What about STDs, the black church? Unity, hip-hop. And what about your family? Fraternities, sororities, light skin versus dark. Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement, and why your kids still can't play in the park. So don't touch the dial, don't change your station. Relax, we about to have a little conversation. Who knows, you might learn some real information about what's going on in the world. You heard? So let's talk about it so we can be about it. We gonna talk about it, we need to be about it. You wanna talk about it, you need to be about it. You can't talk about it unless you be about it. You wanna talk about it, you need to be about it. You like to talk about it, you need to be about it. So let's talk about it so we can be about it. Let's talk about it so we can be about it. Peace.
yeah, y'all.
Talk about it, be about it. Talk about it, be about it. Talk about it, be about it. Talk about it.
I said a few years ago, hip hop is dead. And a lot of people were, up in arms about that. Hey, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? Hip hop is dead. If hip hop is dead, hip hop died in 1979, okay, when the first rap record came out, okay? Because hip hop is a culture. It's not just the music, all right? It's the dance, it's the art, okay? It's the DJ, it's the people who change the way we play and listen to music, and it's rap also. Plus a lot of other elements like the spoken word element, freestyling, beatboxing. The knowledge of hip hop is now an element in hip hop. The audience in hip hop is the biggest element because without them, we would be doing hip hop to ourselves or for ourselves. So all of these things are important and a part of hip hop. But unfortunately, in the rap business, only rap music is hip hop, okay? And only the sale of that music is important. So I think that's the biggest difference, you know what I mean, between the commercialism. Who's responsible for it? Well, the first people who started recording music for profit are responsible. And that's not just the big entities, but all these other entities who tried to get in. Those old disco labels who put out a slew of records in 1979, all trying to capitalize off the fact that hip hop was 6 years old and still around, and it was going to be around for a while. Those are the people who are the first culprits. You have people who are implicit in this culture who were part of it, but didn't have the talent to participate in it as a in talent scheme of things. So they got behind it. They became managers or promoters or producers or whatever. And these are the people that took hip hop commercial. These are the people, the Sugar Hill gangs and the Def Jams and the Profile Records and all these independent labels that made hip-hop commercial. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you're looking for the reason why hip-hop is not the hip-hop that it was, then that's the main reason, the commercialization of it.
True. It's grown billions, like I say, dollars, and we, as people of color, have contributed to hip-hop and supported it. As an old school or pioneer hip hopper, do you feel that the United States or appreciate you guys for doing what you've done?
Well, no, I can't say that. You know what I mean? I think there's a handful of people who recognize and realize and appreciate the contributions made by the people who laid down the foundation for this culture. But I mean, I think the majority of people are not concerned with where this culture comes from, where it started, or where. They're just concerned with where it is right now and how they can benefit from it and what it does for them right now. And I mean, I can't get mad at those people for not having insight, for not, you know, wanting to look back and appreciate what's before. You can't judge people or anything like that. Only thing we can do is continue to try to preserve the essence of what this culture was intended to be in the first place. Everything, once it becomes popular, it goes through changes. It goes through the media machine and all of those different things. But hopefully, hip-hop is like a roller coaster, and even though it goes up through the loop and it goes down and it takes twists and turns and all the way, but when it comes back home, it's always like that. Hopefully, hip-hop does the same thing.
So what would you like to see hip-hop in 20, 30 years?
I like to just see hip-hop in 20 or 30 years, okay? If I'm here and able to see, I just like to see it, but wherever it is, in 20 or 30 years.
Like
hopefully I'll still be here.
Well, you most likely will. But would you like to see it? Because to me, when I look at hip-hop today, I see it more, you know, it's not versatile, positive and negative. So would you like to see it more positive and going in the right direction of empowerment?
I like to see hip hop be all things to all people. You know what I mean? There was a time in hip hop when there was so many different kinds of hip hop. Everybody could enjoy it and everybody could appreciate it. Okay, you don't like Rakim, he's too deep, he's too lyrical. You don't. All right, well go listen to Kwame. Okay, or listen to Biz Markie, he's funny. Or listen to Salt and Pepper. Or listen to MC Light. Or listen to Chubb Rock. Or listen to, you know what I mean, Dougie Fresh. You had so many different kinds of hip-hop to choose from that, you know, you never got tired of it. And it was always variety. There was always something new. And I think when hip-hop got pigeonholed into just one kind of music, which is pretty much gangster rap, that's what pretty much led to the stagnation of the culture, and everybody started sounding alike and having the same conversation. So in order for hip hop to really grow, it has to, you know, get out of that box it's in and expand. You know what I mean? And we need to hear from different people. We need to hear from more people. And not just those 10 records that keep playing over and over and over on the radio every day. All right.
True. I agree with you 100%. I tune into the radio sometimes, but it plays the same thing over and over, and to me it's not really true hip hop. So to say, your musical interests or your musical influences. Who are your musical influences?
Well, you'd probably be very surprised if, you know what I mean, if you knew what my musical influences were. When I grew up here in New York City. During the 60s and 70s, and back when there was only one radio station. You know, there wasn't a black radio station, a hip-hop radio station, so-and-so. There was one radio station, WABC, okay? And they played everything. When you heard Michael Jackson, then you heard the Osmond Brothers, okay? You heard the Jackson 5, and then you heard, you know what I mean, Barry Manilow. And then you heard Three Dog Night, and then you heard Smokey Robinson, and then you heard but you got a mix of all these different kinds of music. So my influences are not just black music. I grew up listening to everything, and the music that really hit home to me was the music that had substance to it, the lyrics. You know what I mean? The music that had melodies and stuff. And I applied, you know, my love and my passion for that music into my hip hop, and that's why, you know. I mean, my group, the Cold Crush Brothers, kind of stand above most. You know, we set a certain niche, you know, in what we did, because I took those early influences and applied them to hip hop. So when you listen to the Cold Crush, you hear a little Simon and Garfunkel, you hear a little, you know, Gilbert O'Sullivan, you know, you hear a little Queen. You know what I mean? Because I grew up listening to that and had the same love and passion for that music as I did for James Brown, The Temptations, Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett, Barry White, Isaac Hayes, George Clinton, and Parliament Funkadelic, Michael Jackson, Prince, you know what I mean, and all those cats. So I don't think that, like, you know, a lot of people say, yeah, you listen to that white boy music. Yes, I do, but I listen to all kind of music. So, you know what I mean? I think my musical influences are a little more rounded than most people, and that's what gives me an edge.
True. Let me ask you, you said Michael Jackson. when I say Michael Jackson to you, or like, what do you think of Michael Jackson when I say his name to you?
Tito, hand me a tissue.
You heard it. I can't talk about it.
No. When I think about Michael, first of all, I think of loss. Okay, I think that Michael was one of the greatest entertainers of our time. He influenced the planet. Okay, and love him or hate him, he influenced you. You watched him. You know what I mean? And even people who are kind of, you know what I mean, haters of Michael, you know, in his last years, you know, oh, Michael's out the nose and this and that. Listen, everybody grew up loving Michael Jackson. I don't care what you say right now. You can say what you want. But when you was young, when you was a kid, you wanted to be Michael. You danced like Michael. You dressed like Michael. You know, all that. So all that lately, you know what I mean? You know, hey, if you got the whole world looking at everything that you do and constantly, you can't go out the house, you can't move, you can't do nothing. You'll be a little eccentric too. You know what I'm saying? And so I think what our culture does is we build people up to these, you know, these heights that you can't imagine, you know, like come on, you put people on pedestals and they're just regular people. And then when you find out that they're regular people, then you want to topple the pedestal and bring them down, you know, oh, they're not this, they're not that. They never said they were that. You built them up to that and you brought them down. So I think the same thing happened with Michael, you know, that happens a lot in our society. You know, these people that we build up, you know, into immortal status, and then when they prove to be human, you know, we try to, you know, tear them down.
Well, you know, Michael Jackson had said he was with Al Sharpton and National Action Network, and he had made a statement of, he was actually at National Action Network, stating that the record companies are against people of color.
Yeah, I remember that. And, well, that's when Michael actually realized the workings of the record companies. You know, when Michael was with Motown and with Epic, with the deal with Epic, he had people managing his affairs and his money, as always his dad, you know what I mean? And then when he moved on, it was some other group of people. When Michael became a solo performer and started branching out on his own, then he started seeing, you know, the numbers. And you know what I mean? He's getting these advances, these $1 million advances, and this is money that he owes back now. And he has to sell platinum and millions of records to pay for the budget that he spent to make the album. You know, Thriller is one of the most, it was probably the top selling album of all time, ever. And Thriller should keep you in millions for the rest of your life. You know, he should never have to make another record. You know what I mean? But his gripe was with the record companies that pretty much rape its artists. They take the majority of the money back, you know, with their little, you know, investment that they make, and they put you through their machine, and that entitles them to like 85% of the pie. And that's what Michael was talking about. Michael finally saw it. You know, even though they gave me $20 million up front, hey, they're making $200 million. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Anytime you see a record company give an artist $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, what do you think they're getting? What do you think they make? When they bring you those platinum records on stage and they give you that, yeah, hey, you win, you know what I mean? Hell, that cost them $55 to make that thing for you, man. You know what they got in the office? You know, that's just the record business. It's always been that way, and it's about, you know, the people who are in power. You know what I mean? It's not going to change until we get in power.
Exactly. So how do you know, in your opinion, how do we get in power?
Beats me. Because if I knew, I'd be in power. Okay, I'm really not going to sit here and try to, you know, give your audience a recipe for getting in power. Because if I had it, I'd be in power. I'm not. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Do you think do you think as black people, will we ever get in power?
You know, it's going to take a monumental effort for us to be in power, because for us to be in power, we have to unite. We have to be together. We have to all be of one mind and all be heading towards the same goal. And we are so divided. It's so much divide and conquer that it's been put into us, and so many things that we respect beyond what's really important that divide us. So basically, you know, it's us keeping us from being in power.
want to talk about it? We need to be about it. You want to talk about it? You